Hello, Larry.
Hello? Oui,
Can
hello.
can you hear us?
Yes, perfectly.
Perfect. Welcome
Hello.
to our meeting.
Okay.
So, thanks for accepting our request, first of all. If you don't mind, we're gonna record our session
All
for
right.
promotional purposes, and we may also include some extracts at the end of the book with your approval. We will send you text as well.
Perfect.
All right, so a little bit about us. I'm Farid. This gentleman is Hamid. We are the co-founders of the Nebula Publishing House.
Uh-huh.
We look quite old, but actually we are not that much old. We are around 30. We have
Well,
been in,
well, are you, you're not, you're not look old.
thank you. So we have been around in literature sector in Azerbaijan almost more than 10 years.
All right.
I'm writer myself. I'm writing, publishing. Hamid is writing. He's a very good editor. So we had a youth period where we had very limited literature. So when we stand on our feet, we decided, okay, let's open our own initiative just to get the best product into the Azerbaijani market. And your book, sir, was among our selections, and that's why we are here today.
Mm-hmm.
So we both read the book. I'm doing more of financial business side of the publishing house. Hamid is also our chief editor-in-chief. So he read it more than once. I read it in English, he read it in English, he read it in Turkish. So he will lead the conversation, he will ask the questions,
All
and
right.
I will intervene as process goes on.
Okay. Is Amit also the translator of the book?
No.
No. Okay.
No. I'm doing just the editing from English because I have unfortunately no knowledge about French.
Okay.
So I'm doing just the editing.
But we did a gap review between 3 revisions, our translation, English translation, and Turkish translation to get the best product
Okay.
as a final result.
So what's the name of the translator?
Hamid, please introduce the translator.
Nermin Rzazadeh.
Okay.
She's a young colleague of us and working with us before the beginning, and she's quite talented.
Okay. So say hello from me and thanks.
For sure.
Okay.
All right.
I just want to say that my English is quite experimental, so
No worries, Hamid is not better, so I will direct the flow.
I'm better on reading and writing, but with speaking,
Okay.
I have a lot of problems. That's why my oldest friend Farid is here too. If I say something wrong, I beg your pardon, and he will just help me about that.
No, it's we prefer that also your English is not so sophisticated because I'm less intelligent in English than in French.
All right then,
All right.
Hamid, please proceed.
So, first of all, I would like to ask you how you're doing. How's the life in Montreal?
Well, now it's summer, so it's nice weather. We just finished a big international festival of theater. I have a play inside this festival. It's adaptation of my last novel. It was a novel about the painter Francis Bacon. So I was quite busy with the play, and just before I have another play produced, and now I'm publishing a new book next October, and I'm quite busy with books, translation, and theater, and travels. It's good life.
Perfect.
So I hope everybody who will watch this video already read this book. So it's possible that we ask something what can be a spoiler for them about your book. So
yeah,
I hope
correct.
It's better. Yeah.
Let's make it as a spoiler alert when we publish the video. So from there on, there is a spoiler alert, big one.
Okay.
So
I think it's not a big problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, I would like to ask you about your novel and its main theme. So it's a kind of obvious that it's a nameless country in Middle East, and I would like to know, where did the idea come from that you decided to write something about far, far away from Montreal, Canada, or France? So
Well, okay. Well, it's one day. I mean, it maybe now, maybe 12 years ago, I received a phone call from House of Architecture in Montreal. They used to organize a kind of event where they ask writers and architects to work together on a subject. And that year, the subject was in French, Frontières émouvantes. It means émouvante means emotional frontiers. You know,
Right.
so I have to write a very short text about this theme, and the architect with I will work, we have to construct an object or a plan. So I met this architect in a restaurant, and we just talked together. And I suggest to him that in regard to the theme was emotional frontiers, I have the idea of a mountain, and maybe there is some problem between people of one side of the mountain and the other side. So before I left the architect, I said to him, please put in your, because I asked him to make a plan of a mountain, or also maybe to construct a maquette of a mountain. I said to him, please put in your mountain an orange, just like this, without knowing what I will write. So the day after, I tried to understand what I did with the architect, and I decided to because I was drawing in the restaurant on a napkin a triangle. And this triangle, because with the both sides, brought to my spirit the idea of twins because of the both sides. And I just imagine a conflict between two brothers. And, you know, like this, I imagine two twin brothers, and I imagine, well, it may be a conflict between like a war between brothers. But finally, I decide to imagine a ethnic conflict where there is two twins, young children, and I didn't want to make a name on the country, because it will be for the reader a way to be partisan, or to be more than what to be. I mean, I didn't want that my novel became political or something like this.
Mm-hmm.
So I just decided to write a story around the family, father, the mother, the children, and it's like a fable, a conte, a little, what we say in French, un conte. I don't know in English, conte. It's like once upon a time in a country.
Fairy tale?
Oui?
Something like a fairy tale?
Yes, a fairy tale. Yeah, you're exact. Yes, like a fairy tale. So my objective was not to explain the cause of the war, but to show to the readers, the future readers, the consequences of the ethnic conflict through very few characters, father, mother, and the children. And also I use a very, very simple vocabulary. So I will write with in the spirit the children. I will write for the children at the height of a child, not for adult. So it's a very simple story, but it's a tough one also. And I used to write without a plan, so I just write some phrases, and I go and go and go, and I discover through my writing the action And so for the exhibition in the House of Architecture, it was a very short, maybe 15 pages, but decide because the character of Hazid and Hamed just haunt me, and I was very curious to know all the story. So I decided 1 year after to go further in the story, and I discover what is about the Orange Grove. And well, this novel became very successful in the world, and now it's an opera, it's a piece of theater, and it will become a movie in a few years, etc., etc. So I was very stunned by the success of the book. So that I was pleased also, of course.
Okay.
Perfect. I'm saying that it's good that it is being opted for a film. Narrative-wise, it's very
Okay.
good. We
Yeah.
are sure that it's going to be a very successful film as well.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
It's good that you told about the orange. That's quite interesting for me, because I had this feeling, this Orange Grove, it's like a untouched heaven in the middle of hell, and it's very interesting to me. Why did you choose something like that? Why especially orange?
Well, that's the mystery. Because if I said to the architect, please put an apple in your mountain, I'm sure that the story will be in Montreal or in Quebec, you know, because we have a lot of apple here. But
Yeah.
When I said an orange, it means that my intuition will go in where countries where oranges are growing. So it's very funny. If I said carrot or betterave or cabbage, you know, it will be another story. That's so funny, but I didn't have any explanation. It's just
By
intuition.
accident.
You know, it's very strange. Intuition is like this. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. No, it's interesting. Okay, so we're going on then now. So we are Eastern guys, and we read the book, and I didn't catch any incompatibility about the characters. They are Eastern people. They speak Eastern, and it was quite okay for me. So it's what I would like to ask you. How did you find your characters? That's just observing, take someone as a model, or it's just your fantasy?
Well, I didn't do any research.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any model. It's just my own imagination. And I did only two research. One research, I want to know when the orange trees are making flowers or fruits. It was really important to me. And my other research was about the explosive belt. I didn't know. I have no idea of what is an explosive belt. So I want to know how it looks. And so I make a little research on the internet. So I saw photos of that. This is the only research I did for the book. Everything else is coming from my
Fictional.
mind. Yeah.
So everything is fictional. The country,
yeah.
everything.
Yeah, of course.
There are some inspirations coming from Middle East conflicts, probably, or African conflicts.
Because everyone knows the conflicts in Lebanon and also in Israel and Palestinian or elsewhere, or Syria. You know, it's coming from the news. It's a mix of all this news I got alongside in so many years. But I never did a specific research for that. It's just because everyone in the world, if we are curious or we feel responsible about the wars in the world, that we know that there are conflicts. We know also there are ethnic conflicts. I mean, it's very often it's kind of people, they are very similar. They look like similar. They have almost the same values, but they got conflict and they kill themselves. So, but really, I didn't do any research for that. It's really an imagination book. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Okay. So I would like to ask some special questions about the book. So what's interesting for me is the way you end the novel. So why special theater? So it was just a try to take all fictional action to outside of the book and make it real, or this was the less painful version of ending it?
Okay, because I try to finish a book is very difficult. I am very good to start a book, and to finish is so difficult. And my point of view was, if Ahmed stay in his country, it will be very desperate ending. It will be very sad also, because there is no light, no espoir. I mean, espoir in English, I forget.
No worries, we will Google it when we translate the text.
Well, it will be. So I try to find a way that Ahmed will have a new life, a new start in his life. So I decide to bring the boy in another country to have some distance of his own story, because if he stay where he was, he will finish very badly. So I decide to bring the boy in a Western country and for me, this boy becoming an actor, it's a kind of metaphor, because he became someone who can speak about all those people who are dead. You know, it's we call it in French porte-parole. So he bear the parole, the words of dead people, of his brother, of course, but all other children. Dead children. So the theater is a metaphor for that, and it became its resilience for him, and also for me, as I'm an actor and a director, so I know the power of theater, the necessity of theater, and because it's in a theater, we are all people reunited to listen to someone or to some characters, and we can decide of something very important all together. So it was a nice place to finish the book in a theater. Well, it's not so realistic, but it's quite possible. But it's a way to finish the book with some light, you know, some open window.
You know, when I read the book, for me it was like 3 theaters within a work. First one is the one created by Sulayet, lying people that there is an army over there, your son is gonna be hero, stuff like this. This is a staged action.
Yeah.
This is not real. Second one is families plot to change the brothers with Tamara, and third one is actual theater itself.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
yeah.
you didn't intend to construct it in that way, but it also gave the vibe that there are 3 theaters within a novel, which created a good flow.
Yeah, that's a good way to see the novel also, of course. Yes, because I'm a dramaturg, so everything I used to write became very theatrical. It's normal for me, you know.
Okay.
Even if I wrote a novel, it would become a piece of theater 2 years after or 3 years after. That's funny.
So that's how we spotted it then. Good.
Yeah, right. So how do you feel when you finish your novel? It's especially a novel like this, which brings many people to think about, to cry, to touch their heart. So it's a joy of finishing, or pain of farewell?
Well, you know, the truth is I didn't have any idea of the impact of the book on the readers. No idea. So I gave to my publisher, and well, he was quite happy, and we and suddenly have readers, and we are so many readers wrote to me, or so many critics, that they are so touched, they are crying reading the books, and we got so many prizes in the world for the book. So we were stunned because we didn't have any idea of the impact of the book, really.
But what did you feel?
I feel very happy of that, but also very I have a quite a responsibility to answer the question that I receive from many people from many countries. So I become conscious of what I read, what I wrote, because I wrote the book in, as I said, without research, in a kind of naivete. I was a bit naive, and and also I have a specific way to write. I write with part of my bodies. I mean, a focus on some part of my bodies. It's very technical, and I teach that also. So for this book, The Orange Grove, I wrote the book focusing on my heart. So it was the first time I wrote a book with my conscious on my heart. So that's why the book is very touching, because it's not from the head, the brain, or even the belly, or other parts of my body. So it gave the book very human aspect, and also because the main characters are children. So that's quite a big difference. So it was amazing for me to try to write the book from the heart. It was not usually I don't try to write with my heart. Sometimes with my brain, or the part of my body. I mean, it's a bit maybe strange for you speaking like this, but don't forget that I'm from theater. So in theater, we used to do very experimental things.
Yeah, that's clear for us.
Okay.
Talking about the writing itself, just can you give us a bit more information about your creative writing process?
Well, I just told you because I'm stuck with no, I don't have any plan.
So it just happens arbitrarily in a natural way.
Yeah, well, I will try not to judge my writing. That's very important. Just not to judge. Write what you want without judging the quality of the phrase, the choice of the vocabulary. You just go. But this period of the writing is very short for me, and usually I may write 20 pages, only that. And after that period of the writing, I will become very strict, and I will make an inquiry of these 20 pages. And these 20 pages will become like a criminal scene, and I will become an inspector, a policeman, and I will ask many questions to my text, and I will be very, very severe. I will ask some character, what's your name? Because sometimes I don't know the name of the character. What's your name? What's your age? What are you doing in this phrase, etc., etc. So I will really, really consider my few pages like a criminal scene. I will suspect that something happened in that story. For the moment, I don't know, but I want to know. So I will make I will make my characters answer me to my question. So it will be a second phase. So the first, I call it la quête. I don't know in English, unfortunately. La quête is like, well, I don't know. But after the second period, I call it the inquiry. We'll say in French, la quête et l'enquête. So,
okay. You are making a draft and you immediately start to revise it.
Yes.
Not waiting to finish the book, but you revise it in parallel, and you then you keep writing another portion, then come back for a revision. That's how we get it, right?
Yeah, you understood. Yeah, clearly. Yeah, I will do that. Yeah, and I never may. I don't want to have any interference with other readers, so I don't ask people to read my manuscript if it's not finished. I won't talk to anyone what I'm writing right now. Yeah.
All right, because when I'm writing, Hamid is editing it in parallel. That's how we work in general. But we may try another option as well. Okay, thank you, Larry. Hamid, next question, please.
So I am like out of the questions. My last question will it be? So, did you know anything about Azerbaijan before I wrote to you, or it was a surprise for you that bunch of people reading and loving your works?
No,
so far away from Canada.
I was really surprised and really happy of that. And for me, it will be a good start to know much better about Azerbaijan and the culture. Because sometimes it's like this, when we know someone in a country, if we don't know the country, we will not be very curious about this country and know better about the values of those people, the culture, the history, what they eat, what they think, what if they are in conflicts with other, we become curious and sensible about that. So it will be, for me, a good way to start to know better Azerbaijan.
That's a good news. Unless you are not vegetarian, we have got plenty of nice food.
No, I'm not vegetarian. I'm not
you are always welcome to come and try our food. All right. I have got one last question. So your upcoming work, if you can give us a sneak preview about the work, which is planned to be released soon. What's the story of next book?
My story of next book?
Yes, sir.
The next book will be published next October. It's 5 short stories, and it's about it's 5 very, very different stories and about different topics. It's very difficult to explain, but it's our story are dealing with difficulty of children in world. Yeah.
All right, and different locations, right? Different countries, different communities?
No, it's mostly in Quebec now. It's mostly in Quebec.
And
it's not about war. It's not about war. It's more about difficulties inside the family, the modern family. Yeah.
It's more like a social family conflict. All right.
Yeah, in that sense, yes. Yeah.
As soon as it is out, accessible for readable language for us, we may contact you for publishing rights again.
Okay, that will be nice. I hope also that I can have the possibility to meet you in person somewhere in the world.
Why not? Currently, both of us are in Europe. You can come here and we can eagerly meet you.
I go to Europe each year.
He's living in London. I am living in Germany. I'm in the near of Strasbourg. Last time, unfortunately, I didn't catch the chance to meeting personally with you in Paris. But next time.
Oh yeah! Don't forget. I'm often during autumn. I'm very, very often in Paris or something near Paris. Yeah.
Perfect. We will keep in touch, Larry.
Okay. If you can send me in a few days the cover, I'm very curious about the cover of the book.
So cover is almost ready. We are doing the final touches. As soon as we have got it ready, graphic designer is working on it now. So it is based on the painting. It should look very nice. As soon as it is ready, we will send it for your review and approval.
Okay.
And that's pretty much all of our questions for today. If you have anything to add.
Okay, so I thank you for your interest for my book, and I hope we will meet again through Zoom or in person, as I said.
In person, hopefully. It was our pleasure, sir. We are 2 people who are doing very different things. By the way, Hamid is a doctor. I'm an engineer. So we are doing totally different things, but both of us wants to be an artistic people. He will pursue the writing. I'm pursuing filmmaking right now, and it has been an honor for us. Yeah. It has been an honor for us to have you with us for the last half an hour, and we are pretty much confident that this interview will also increase number of our readers, and it will our book to reach wider audience within the shortest period of time.
Thank you very much, Farid, and also Hamid.
Thank you, Larry. Have a nice day. Keep in touch.
Have a nice evening.
Thank you, sir. We will keep you updated on interview excerpt, which we are planning to add to the book and on cover as well.
All right. See you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.